Live.
Oh boy. How's my hair?
What hair? Looks good. Always looks good.
It's shiny.
Shiny.
Shiny. That's a song from Moana.
All right. Hey, we're live.
Oh, we're live.
Sounds good. Woohoo. Hey, it's great to have you in the studio. Hey, no, you're the one in the studio.
Yeah, this is kind of where the magic happens.
So where are you located at tonight?
In Clinton Township,
Okay, awesome. Awesome.
in my dungeon, the studio where I live and breathe.
Looks very professional. I'm here with my baby grand. I am excited that you're on Hannah's Corner. And yeah, so why don't we give some background to everyone watching just about like kind of how we met and how everything came to be. It's been several years we've been working together now. So I met you through your sister, Jasmine, and your amazingly talented musical family like some years ago, many years ago now. The time has just flied. Um, it's just flown, and here we are.
Yeah, 20 years later.
It seems like that in some ways, but yeah, no. I just love your work. I mean, I think you have an amazing voice. You play like a million instruments. You're a producer. You do so much.
Oh,
You juggle
stop.
it all,
Oh, stop. Continue.
and like everyone in your families and mine to boot. So that's why you never sleep at night, and you can't find time to get shut eye because you're working around the clock, right?
Yeah, I have to. I have to work around the clock because most of my best stuff comes to me.
Day and night.
Yeah, like midnight is when stuff hits me, and I'm like, oh, I can work now.
Right. No, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. But if I catch that second wind, I'm never going to bed. Like I'll be up till 6.
That's usually when my best work happens between like 12 midnight and 8 a.m. Not intentionally. It's just when it starts, I'm like, oh, I got an idea. I got to build on that so I don't forget it. The next thing I know, it's 8 o'clock, and I'm like, oh, I guess it's time to do stuff.
Yep. Yep. So, well, why don't we I don't know, let's kick it off with some let's hear you. Let's hear the song you have prepared. What are you going to play for us?
Oh, am I supposed to play for you?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
guitar.
okay. Luckily, I have my guitar here. I got these little
Ready
earbuds.
to
Make sure.
go. You are all warmed up and ready to go.
All right. Well, we'll see. This song is by U2, and it's called "Stay Far Away, So Close," and hopefully everything works fine. All right. Let me pull up the lyrics here. Get a little reverb. All right. Hold on. Let's get my guitar setting here. Check, check, check. Can you hear the guitar okay?
If I can, here we go.
Hear the guitar? Hear me? All right. She's got to double check. There's always technical difficulties. So,
Always, but
all right.
Zoom is actually doing pretty well. We get to hang out here, the dual split screen here. We get to play recorded music. We're going to be playing some recorded music later, and now we're playing live music. The only thing is we can't play together without latency, but hey,
Not
it's
yet.
not yet. Whoever invents that is going to be so well off.
We work the kinks out.
Especially for musicians, whoever develops a program for musicians without latency. Whew, I'll buy that.
All right. So I think, let's see if I can do this. It's been a while. I don't perform live a lot,
Hey,
like ever.
we have a loving audience.
So I'm like the studio. So we'll see how this goes. All right. Get my effect on.
You want me to stop my video while you're doing it? So it's like, here you go.
Oh, Hannah. There we go.
It's just my headshot. It's not actually me.
All right. So guitars should be set here. All right. Ready to go. Get the reverb going. Here we go. Green light, 7-Eleven. You stop in for a pack of cigarettes. You don't smoke, don't even want to. Hey now, check your change. Dressed up like a car crash. The wheels are turning, but you're upside down. You say when he hits you, you don't mind. Because when he hurts you, you feel alive. Oh, is that what it is? Red light, gray morning. You stumbled out of a hole in the ground, a vampire or a victim. Depends on who's around. You used to stay in to watch the adverts. You could lip sync to the talk shows. And if you look through me. And when you talk to me. And when I touch you, you don't feel a thing. If I could stay, then the night would give you up. Stay, and the day would keep its trust. Stay, and the night would be enough. Far away, so close, up with the static and the radio, with satellite television. You can go anywhere. Miami, New Orleans, London, Belfast, and Berlin. And if you listen, I can't call. And if you jump, you just might fall. And if you shout, I'll only hear you. If I could stay, the night would give you up. Stay, and the day would keep its trust. Stay with the demons you drown. Stay with the spirit I found. Stay, and the night would be enough. In the morning, it's quiet and there's no one around, just a bang and a clatter as an angel runs to ground. Just a bang and a clatter as an angel hits the ground.
Do you see my clappy hands?
Yeah, clap your hands emoji. Could you hear me? Okay, there's a weird setting. I'm getting like echo on my end. Was it okay?
No, it was perfect. Sounded great.
Okay, cool.
That's a really beautiful song. Are you gonna do a cover of that on your on a single or upcoming album?
Yeah, so that version, that's weird. Check, check, check. Because I'm going through earbuds now and got a weird setup going. Yeah, so that version of the song I heard before the original. So that's kind of like a stripped down acoustic version. There's this band called Flyleaf that I listened to like all through my teenage years. Like a alternative rock, alternative metal type band, but they did like that real soft acoustic version.
Right.
Then I heard the original and I was like, oh, I like the soft version better. So I kind of,
You
yeah,
like
that's a, like,
music? Come on, you don't you listen to like screamo and like metal?
I do. I listen to screamo. I listen to metal. I listen to rap, hip hop, R&B, country, gospel, jazz,
And
blues.
I really respect that because to do that is so rare. You don't find people who usually like a couple genres, but they don't like them all. You know. So is it that you like them all, or you just I don't know, you're interested in them all? Like what is it?
Well, when I first started singing, because I couldn't sing, I was like completely tone deaf.
What are you talking about? Who? We're talking about someone else because you can sing.
No, trust me, it was me. And nobody believes me because well, I practiced a lot and there's still room for improvement, but I practiced a lot. But when I was younger, because I come from a really musical family, so everybody kind of has a good ear for music. So they were just like, oh, you are completely tone deaf. It was, and nobody believes me, but no, it was really bad. Like I couldn't tell, the pitches just kind of blended together. Like if you would sing a note and tell me to sing it, I couldn't tell if it was higher or lower.
Ah,
Or
okay.
like you would play a note and then go a half step up, and I would be like, those kind of sound like the same note to me.
So not a good sense of relative pitch. That's
Yeah, or pretty much any pitch.
well,
So then when I started to sing, I just kind of needed like I needed like one note at a time. So like a lot of loud music, like aggressive rock music, they just like scream one straight note. So then I kind of got into that, and I picked up guitar. So I was like, only music I know with guitar in it is like rock music. So that's got what I started doing. But I always grew up around like gospel and jazz and hip hop and R&B from like just from the neighborhood I grew up in. So that type of music I've always heard. Like I was used to it, how it sounded. But then when I picked up guitar, it was like a whole different style of music. And I was like, well, let me try this. This is different because I'm not good at any of the other stuff. So that's kind of where it started. So I started off in like real heavy rock stuff. Then once I started to like learn how to sing, I was like, well, now let me try other styles.
yeah, there you go. How did you get into producing? I guess how many years have you been producing now? Because you went to school for it, right?
Yeah. So like when I first started playing guitar, like I don't know, I was a late starter. Like it wasn't until like I was 16 or something. So no musical talent. Like I would break strings just trying to tune them because I couldn't tell if the pitch was higher or lower. So a lot of times I would break the new strings because I couldn't hear without like the visual aid of a tuner. So then once I started playing, I always wanted to like write songs or something, but I didn't know how. So for a few years, it was just me teaching myself. And it wasn't until 2014, I think. Yeah. So before then, I bought like a little, audio interface. Had no idea what I was doing. I was just like clicking stuff and trying to figure out how to work it. So I did that for a few years. And then 2014, I was in Missouri. I was working in a prison as a corrections officer, but I was always doing music just on the side, trying to figure out how to record and trying to teach myself guitar. So then I decided to quit that job and move back here so I can go to school at Washington Community College for audio engineering and music production. And from then on, I just been, taking the stuff that I've learned from there and going right home and applying it. Like, oh, that's how you work a compressor. So I come right home after class and like, okay, now do that. Oh, that's how equalizers work. So let me do that. So everything I learned was really like applicable to what I was already doing. So a lot of the stuff that wasn't pertaining to what I wanted to do, I kind of quite frankly just let it go in one ear and out the other. I'm like, oh, that's good information, but I just want to learn how to do this. So
Right.
there's still a lot of stuff that I'm retracing my steps to go back and relearn because I didn't focus on. But yeah, since like 2014 is when I've been trying to like take it a little more seriously.
And then well, you know, and you're as I introduced you in your bio, you're in the business of making hits. So I mean, everything you do, and even when we start working together, it's like, Hannah, this is a great song, but like let's what's your process? Like you take what I have and you're like, okay, we're gonna rip it down and start from ground zero here, rebuild it, rebuild the bones, and make a hit. That's always been your motto. And kind of tell me a little bit about your thinking behind making hits. What's the recipe for a hit?
Well, what got me into that, when I was taking these classes, there were so many, like I highly recommend Washington Community College for anyone that wants to go into music production, because there was just a wide variety of like that's when I first started taking voice lessons, was in 2014, and I had a great Dr. Joseph Daniel, if anyone knows him. He's a great vocal teacher, and when I took that voice class, like my brain was just a sponge. Like everything he said, I just like took in, and it was like that for all my classes. Like the music production, I was just like sponge it. Then I took a songwriting class, and I was like just sponge. So then once I had like so much information, anytime I work with someone, it's like, oh, that's kind of like about what I learned. If you do this like that and that like that. So, but a lot of what I do is I try to keep in mind like the audience for the music that you're doing. So like with a lot of artists, music is just so therapeutic to them, and like cathartic. It's just them expressing themselves. It feels so good, just that's why people get into it. But that doesn't always translate to the audience. And I can relate because I wasn't a natural born musician. I didn't know how to play any instruments. I was tone deaf. I couldn't sing, but I knew when I liked the song.
Right.
So a lot of times musicians, especially people who are trained, like jazz trained musicians or classically trained musicians, yeah, it's like you're used to being a musician. So you think like a musician, you hear music like a musician.
You start calling me out now. This is the part you'd be like, Hannah, you know.
Well, I mean, do you want me to call you out by name?
No, please. Just I think the people who are tuning in probably want to know about kind of stuff we worked on, and maybe just let's break down a process. Like I came to you with Distant Land, like a few years. Well, no, not that long ago. About a year.
It's probably been about 2 years at this point.
And I came to you, and it sounded, something kind of like this actually. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
So this is like the conception of the song right here. This is me playing
the beginning phase.
Stream of consciousness. And I came to you and I said, here's this song, what can we do with it? And then all my dreams came crushing down because you're like, Hannah, we need to rework the whole lyrics. And
yeah.
And as an artist, you're just so attached to your music like a child. Like the lyrics and everything are so personal. So, but you're like, no, we have to make this catchy and hip and almost pop it. Like, so one thing, when you hear the final version, the recorded version, it's completely different, right? You kept telling me, I remember, faster. It needs to be, the tempo needs to increase.
Yeah, because you were going for like a more relaxed feel, and that's fine. But for someone who's not like musically talented, they kind of just hear like a sleepy piano song. So it's like they just kind of close their eyes and drift off in a good way because it's so calming.
Calming, right? Exactly. And your whole point was like, but you can do so many different versions of the same song. Like you and I worked on. Here, I'm gonna pull up another version that you worked on producing of this.
Oh, this is the old one.
How about this one?
Yeah, way faster.
So we have so many versions of it.
If only we were young and innocent and had a helping hand. If only we were youthful dreamers, free to roam this land. If we had the strength and peace of mind to let our souls be free, would we float away upon the wind in sheer ecstasy and wonder how we made it here to breathe the sweetest breath, to feel the wind upon our backs, but wonder why
Yeah, so I just want to share a little bit of that because I mean, there's so many different versions, and that one I loved, and I still want to produce that one as a different like alternate version.
I
But
love that bass line. It took me forever to come up with that bass
that
line.
Jasmine singing on that, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and
Beautiful.
I was going crazy with Jasmine. I'm like, no, sing it like this. Don't sing it like that. Hold that note. Don't do that. Don't do vibrato there because I'm.
That's the thing with producers, right? They're thinking 360. You're hearing 360. You see the big picture. We're thinking as artists, what feels good to us, what's authentic and true to us, what's our story, and you're thinking more full picture. What's gonna sell? What has mass appeal? What's listenable? And what's balanced? You know, do the lyrics make sense? Are they too wordy? Guilty? Are they are
Yes.
they catchy? Things like that. And you've burned me about that plenty of times, about lyrics having to just make sense. And a lot of times as artists, we're not really tuned into that as much. So it's been just a pleasure working with you, as a producer who, can listen to your song, break it down, and help you see its flaws or its opportunities to get better. So.
Yeah, because I kind of do it differently. Like if someone, I kind of ask, like, do you want me to be like a sound engineer or a producer? Like usually when I think sound engineer, I think I'm the guy who presses record while you do your thing. Because some people want that. They want their song. It's like, I just want someone to record and, do the clickety click stuff in the studio. And I'm like, that's fine. But then other times it's like, hey, I want someone to like kind of mold this song into what I want it to be. Because sometimes what you hear in your head is not what other people are hearing. So you need to make those ideas translate so that the audience feels the way that you feel when you're playing it. And sometimes that means like, switching it up. Like if you were singing a song and you were performing in front of an audience that spoke a different language, you couldn't just perform in English and expect them to just know what you're talking about. So you take your creation, then you translate it in a way that they can receive the message and the idea that you're trying to portray. And sometimes that means like compromising and kind of, getting rid of your own ego, just kind of like, oh, I love this the way it is, but if my message isn't getting across, then I would change it so that other people can feel the way I feel when I play and sing it.
All
So
right.
that's kind of one of the ways that I try to think of it in terms of songwriting.
That's good. And we spent like sometimes just a couple of hours, 2 or 3 hours, just honing like the lyrics, like of the last song we were working on with mine. It's still not ready. I mean, and we'll it's funny, we have like wars about it. It's just like I'll get it one, you'll get it one way with the lyrics, and then I secretly go back and I change them.
Yeah, because you gave me permission to call you out, so I'm going to do it. You're very like jazz and improvising is what you do. So whenever you do a song, it's like however you feel like at the moment, that's how you
And I
do
don't
it.
always remember it, and that's something I don't know if other jazz artists have, but it's like with stream of consciousness, you don't always remember what you just did.
Yeah, and I think that probably translates really well with other jazz musicians. But like I said, from being like an audience, because I know what it's like to be like a professional audience member, somebody who's not talented, who doesn't do music, who only knows what it's like to hear it. So you listen to a song, and you're like, oh, I love this part where the keyboard goes like this.
Right.
And so you go to perform it and then you don't do that part. And I'm like, wait, what happened to the one part? And then you're like, oh, I just change it every time I play it.
Right.
And then you can, as an audience member, you kind of lose me like, wait a minute, but you don't play my favorite part. And so
Yeah.
when you construct a song, if you just construct a song and kind of write it a certain way, then a person can kind of hear their favorite parts of it when you play it back.
Then you have different versions, right? Your audience or some fans like a certain version, you play to that. In other settings, like you said, have a radio edit version, or acoustic version, and then a live version, and then the cover version. So like for Distant Land, I released my most recent single. Um, you helped me get to that point. You can help me with the lyrics. You help me get to that point of realizing, okay, this thing needs to get faster. And you're right. What started out as a really dreamy kind of spacey song. I don't think will be as listenable as what it is now.
Yeah.
Fast.
So for to you, it felt really nice and soothing and dreaming because you're Hannah. But like I was listening to it just as an audience member, and I'm like, wow, this song is really dragging on, quite frankly, just because it's so there's that mismatch between how you feel and like how the audience may feel, watching you. So just having that happy medium of like kind of speeding that tempo up a little bit, adding the drum beat, having like a consistent bass line where it's like, it's a written bass line. It's like, this is how the bass part goes, as opposed to just being like, hey, you know, just follow me, everybody.
So on that note, because the Distant Land version is faster, I'm actually, for those of you watching tonight and about to watch, want to play the slow version that actually you and I started working on originally. Maybe we can release a version that's slower, but I want
Let's
to
release them all.
let's release them all. So I am gonna just play Distant Land for you guys, kind of a newer version. Well, not newer, but in the original version that many people haven't heard. So I'm gonna give it a go. Let me know how the volume is here. Check 1, 2. Sound good? Cool.
If only we were young and innocent and had a helping hand. If we were youthful dreamers, free to roam this land. If we had the strength and peace of mind to let our souls be free, would we float away upon the wind in sheer ecstasy? And wonder how we made it here to breathe this breath, to feel the wind upon your back, but wonder why instead there's hatred. The castle fall on everything. There's violent things crushing all our dreams. There's so much torment for children so innocent. What does it mean to have a heart truly beat? Just like I was someone new, beginning on this strange world, with the heart of a sweet child, with a gift to give to earth. Would I crack a smile as I walk down the street and hold my head high, greet everyone I meet, and wonder how we made it here to breathe this breath, to feel the wind on your back, but it's all inside my head. When we stay our guiding hand, tell me when we, the children of this land, come alive in each one of us, come alive in each one of us, bring out the best in us today. Will the life in us guide us to a place where our hearts are one and our brains are raised? Or will we feel what it's like to breathe the breath that life gives, and hold it dear like your mother did, but you gave you her first kiss? Look around in this day, it's a colorful array of textures, tones, and harmonies and beautiful mistakes. Follow one of them to a distant land. Just follow one of them to a distant land.
It has this floaty ending. So yeah, that was one of the original renditions we did. of this song?
Yeah, you changed a lot of the lyrics too.
Yeah, I think I did between this one and the one I did in the studio, but um, I think no, you helped me quite a bit with the structure and the lyrics of this song. So thank you. And we're continuing to work together, and you know, with Ethan and Jasmine too, some of our songs. So
Yeah, Ethan just sent me a new track the other day. You're gonna love this one. Well, the four of us got to get together soon.
yeah, we have to do one of those split screen cool things. I'm really late to the party because everyone has the iMovie split screen thing, and they look really cool. And we can, I'll leave that to you.
Yeah, it can be done. It takes time. Got to just kind of know the ins and outs.
Right, right. So let's see. I do want to hear the song that you've been working on with. Tell me a little bit about some of the projects you're working on with. You said you're working with someone in Florida.
Yeah, I recently, what was it? The first week of March, I went to Florida to work with a singer named Shalina Scott for her first EP.
Ooh,
So I was there for a whole week, and so she had this concept of writing kind of an album that's kind of like, it's called Lullabies from Heaven. So it's kind of like has a sound of like songs you would sing to children,
yeah.
as you know, to kind of put them to sleep, and like really really young kids, like nursery rhyme types things. So I did some work while I was there, but I only had a week, so and I had to work with her. Her sister Sharonda Scott was there. Then they had a keyboardist there and a violinist and another singer, and then I had to record guitar. So then when I came back home, I had to like re-record all my guitar parts I'm still working on, then play like some bass and then add drums to certain songs, and then mix everything.
So
So
style kind of like.
it's very soft. It's really like a soft and acoustic. Let me see what would be a good example. Like an India Irie type, just
Beautiful. I love that.
soft melodic, but very simple. Because for this project, she wanted it to be like, kid friendly, something that like a kid can sing along to. So a lot of the melodies are really simple. So I'm just working on the arrangements, trying to get them to kind of come alive while still being simple.
That's
So
what you're
that's
good at. That's what you're good at. It's all those other touches that a producer knows about, like those adding a little line here, a little flute line, or a little, drum beat, or there's all these textures like a synth. Things that usually artists aren't thinking on that microscopic level of like thinking of how can we fill the sound. And that's what producers are good at, like yourself. So
Yeah, and sometimes you don't even notice as you're listening. All you notice is, hey, this sounds cool, or I like that. And that's kind of what I mean when I try to like think as an audience member or a listener. Because most people that who you play for aren't going to be like, oh, I like how they did that minor chord progression there, instead of, they don't know any of the music theory.
right,
All
right,
they know is, hey, this part sounds cool.
cool or good
Yeah.
or hear it again, right?
So that's what I keep in mind a lot of times when I'm doing it. I'm like, oh, I may notice this, or Hannah may notice this, but what just sounds cool that the audience would just say, hey, this sounds really cool, and I like that.
Yeah. Speaking of cool and sounds good, I have some potential hits I'm gonna send you. I, for the first time, started writing kind of in a more pop realm. A couple songs here. I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna be sending them your way. And I know you will totally rebuild them. It will be what's left to rebuild. There's like two chords throughout the whole song. It's like three chords.
Yeah, and a lot of like real musicians kind of think that that's beneath them.
Oh, fill me in. What's
Like the real musicians, like people who actually like perform and play. Like I definitely don't consider myself a real musician. I kind of get in the studio and piece things together. That's like my wheelhouse.
well, I do the same thing. So,
Yeah, but usually when I think, and this is just me personally, when I think musician, I think someone who can just get on their instrument and just go for hours on and put on like a whole show. And that's not me. Usually as I'm playing, I'm like, oh, I can use that for this song. And it's like,
you have the ear of an arranger because
yeah, like I put things together like a puzzle. Like everything I hear is just like, okay, that can go here, maybe that can go there. So having just like a straight idea from start to finish, I don't think I've ever written a song from in like chronological order.
yeah.
it's always like, oh, here's a little guitar riff, and oh, then I'll get on the drums. Like, oh, the drum can kind of go like this, and then this can be this. So usually when I see like a musician, somebody who just kind of performs and just plays start to finish, I'm like, oh, that's a real musician.
I don't
That's just my opinion.
There's no such thing. We're
That-
all musicians, and I think you are a real musician, definitely. I mean, speaking of which, do you mind playing some of the projects you're working on? Maybe you can play.
oh yeah, the one. So the most recent thing I'm doing outside of the Shalina Scott's album, I'm working on covers. Let me take this guitar off. Like doing collaboration because there's a lot of that going on because now everybody's working from home separately. So a
Right,
lot of musicians are kind of like doing collaborative videos.
right.
So one song that I'm working on doing a little collaborate is with a YouTube pianist named I drawing a blank on his name. It'll be on my YouTube channel, and I'll put his name in the description when I remember it.
Is he from a different country?
Um, the last name is hard for me to pronounce, but I will definitely put the link in my description. So it'll be on my YouTube channel. Oh, it's youtube.com/potential zero.
Woo-hoo.
Zero with an X.
Julius, you should show everyone your background in your studio. Can you do that? The background picture? No, I mean the
Huh?
desktop you have.
Oh,
The artwork. It's very impactful.
on the screen share here.
Do the screen share here so everyone can see your album art.
Okay, let me see if I know how to do that here. I think it's screen 2. Share. Give me a second. I'm still new to Zoom, everyone. This is like my first official Zoom meeting. There, can you see that?
There we go. Yes.
Yes, that's my album cover for my next album that should be out sometime this year.
And this is the same individual who produces a lot of my music. See, so just to go to show you the range,
Oh, it's very different from Hannah's stuff. Yeah, it's like a kind of a hard rock, alternative metal type genre. So yeah, not smooth jazz at all.
It's you. I mean, you have many sides. People have many sides. So
Yeah, and that's why I like my YouTube channel so much because I do a lot of different styles. So a lot of people will come and hear like I'll do like a hard rock song and then like a screamo song. And then there's also like me doing Broadway musical. Like I did a few songs from Les Mis. I did a song from some Disney movies, Disney Enchanted. I like that movie. And so then I'll do like a kind of a jazzier song. So I'm kind of all over the place musically, but my YouTube channel, really, I did it to kind of practice on my vocal stuff mostly.
yeah.
So then that gave me like the opportunity to just try a whole bunch of different styles and just put it out there and see who likes it, if anyone likes it.
There you go. Well, why don't you go ahead and play so we can hear one of your recorded songs.
Okay, I'm trying to see, how do I go back to your screen? How do I get off my screen share?
I think you go to screen share. There we go.
Share. Oh, now it's on your screen. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know what I'm doing here.
Okay. All good.
All right. So let's see. Is that audio coming through there?
Yep.
That music there? Little piano that came through?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So I guess I'll sing it. So this is a new song. Well, not new for me. It's a new cover song I haven't done. So I'm still kind of learning it. But the getting everything set up here.
Smashing Pumpkins one you mentioned?
Yes, this song is by the Smashing Pumpkins called 1979. And this is one of those songs that, again, I heard someone do a cover of it first. And then I kind of went back and heard the original and I was like, oh, that's different. And so it's kind of like a alternative rock, 90 alternative rock type of sound. But then the version I'm doing with this other YouTuber, he did like a piano version of it. So it's really flowy and soft. And I like that because it gave me room to kind of explore, you know, vocally and not be so heavy and aggressive all the time. So, I mean, I could try to sing it, but it might be a little rough. You want to just go for it?
Go for it. Like,
All right, I'm going to go for it.
do it. Take it away.
All right, so I'm still trying to figure out the arrangement. I did like a little demo backing vocals on it. So I don't know, they might work, they might not, like they might be a little off. So we'll see. Let me see if I can change cameras here because I need to stand up. Okay. Because when I sit down, I can't sing. Like I did on that first song. I was like, oh, I'm not a sit singer.
I have to be, unfortunately.
It really throws me off because I didn't know how to sing before. So originally it was like, sing from your diaphragm. So I had to stand to do it. So now whenever I sit, I'm like, oh no, I'm back at square one. All right, let me pull the lyrics up here because I'm still kind of learning the song here. So, but I can at least give you an idea of how it might sound once I finish it. And I'll just put it up on YouTube and it'll be the start of me just doing like, you know, the quarantine collaboration videos that everyone's doing now. All right, so let me pull these up here. All right, take another sip of my hot cinnamon spice tea. This video is brought to you by Harney and Sons Hot Cinnamon Spice Tea.
Oh, wonderful.
I think that's how you say them. I don't even know. Maybe that's what it is. All right, let's try. And I'll try and not butcher this.
Go for it.
All right, let's see. So I have a little backing track playing and the complete version will be better than this, I promise. All right, but let's give it a go. Shakedown 1979. Cool kids never have the time. On a live wire right up off the street, you and I should meet. June bug skipping like a stone, with headlights pointed at the dawn. We were sure we'd never see the end to it all, and I don't even care to shake these zipper blues, and we don't know just where our bones will rest to dust, I guess, forgotten and absorbed into the earth below. Na 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 na. Double cross the vacant and the bored. They're not sure just what we have in store. Morphine city slipping dues down to see that we don't even care. As restless as we are, we feel the pull in the land of 1,000 guilds and poured cement, lamented and assured to the lights in towns below, faster than the speed of sound, faster than we thought we'd go beneath sound of hope. Justine never knew the rules. Hung down with the freaks and ghouls. No apologies ever need be made. I know you better than you fake it, to see that we don't even care to shake these zipper blues, and we don't know just where our bones will rest to dust, I guess, forgotten and absorbed into the earth below. The street heats the urgency of now. As you can see, there's no one around.
Wow, that's beautiful. Wow, I am so looking forward to that coming out. Did you do that whole arrangement yourself, or was this in collaboration with the guy you mentioned?
Yeah, this was in collaboration. He kind of did the piano part, because this was the one where I was like, hey, me and Hannah could do that. So
yeah, I would
that's
love
on that's on the
you know, work on my album, I can work on yours.
it's on our potential collaboration list.
Yes, our potential zero.
Yeah, and you should be oh yeah, I do have a song on my new album that I wanted you on, so we'll talk about that later.
All right, we'll take that off the air. We don't want to bore everyone with the details yet.
Yeah. It's gonna be a hit though.
Arrangements.
You guys are gonna love it. It's gonna be a hit.
Yes, it's gonna be a hit. Let's we're gonna close out the night with I want to introduce a song that I've been working on and that I've been lucky enough to have Julius featured on. It's called What Will Our Children Say?
Oh yeah, I'm on this.
Yeah, this is a single that is coming out. And we're just waiting on CD Baby to process it. It is in production. It will be out probably, most likely in a couple weeks. But it's a song about the children of tomorrow, and that's a very metaphorical and very lyrical statement, and just in terms of what kind of world will we be living in the next 10, 20 years. Kind of a sobering, humbling thought, and I wrote a song about that sentiment. So without further ado, I'm going to play the official version of it, and you cannot find it anywhere right now. It just lives on my SoundCloud privately and on the Zoom video. It sounds way better than me playing it live, so I'm just going ahead, given technology right now. So I'm going to go ahead and just play it straight from my laptop sound, because Zoom is awesome and it allows us to play directly from our laptop. For those of you who don't know that yet, it's awesome.
World premiere,
worldwide. So
Hannah's Corner exclusive.
Yeah, give me an intro, Julius. Hype it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves. This is the world premiere, a Hannah Baiardi exclusive, right here on Hannah's Corner. You heard it first, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is. What will our children say?
Look at the mess we've made. Too big a price to pay. How can we clean this up? Can we do it with love? Can we see past all the lies and the hatred, tune out the drama and try to awaken to There's no war here which will shine brighter, the light or the thunder. What spark in the dark will speak to your heart and give you hope and help you cope. What will our children say? What did they take away? And what will they give us back with our very lives under attack? What good is a change if we cannot remember how we got here that day in November? What have we learned? What have we learned? Do we care enough to change it? Who will you choose to pick up this country? Give hope to our children, a future that's sunny, and turn things around. It's their time now. Did they ban plastic? Did they tear down walls? Leave them a future where they can breathe it all. What will be our legacy? What will our children see? Our children see. Oh, no, no. No, no, no. No, no, no. No, no, no. Who will you vote for in 2020? Trust with your heart to vote in your money and hand off the reins. Claim this new age. What will our children say? Yeah. What did they take away? From us? And what will they give us back with our very lives under attack? Will they sing the light has won? Will they sing along with the song? Will they sing the light has won? Will they sing long live the sun? Will they say the light has won? Will they say we have won? What will our children? What will our children's children say?
So that,
For the children.
sorry, it cut out a little there. I was trying to share the beautiful album art with you that my friend did from LA. Her name's Abby Clemens. She hand painted the oil drawing here.
Shout out to Abby Clemens.
This is what I was trying to show. This beautiful album cover, but apparently Zoom won't let me show you and play music at the same time.
Yeah, you just had to click. I sent the message.
I got your chat. I got the
Okay, cool. That's a nice
So
feature.
this was the beautiful artwork. So it will be debuting in a couple weeks, and the beautiful harmony you heard at the end was all Julius.
Was it?
Yeah, and you like became three people. You did like 3-part harmony, and I don't think I gave you any warning. I just said, "Here, learn this and come in the studio." In my classic way, I gave you like 2 hours notice.
Yeah,
Hey,
and
come in the studio, okay?
I love it when you do that. By love it, I mean hate it.
Right. I figured. That's
She's
how.
like, "Hey, I just came up with this song 5 minutes ago. Let's go to the studio and record it." I'm like, "Oh, okay, Hannah."
Right, exactly. And you know, it's you make a good point in that you really got to be studio ready. And artists get like myself too get just really excited about something, and we want to go make it permanent in the studio, you know. And you're like, well, I'll do it. I'll try it. And you rolled with it, and it came out, I think, beautifully, especially the ending. So thank you for being a part of it.
It's what I do. It's literally what I do.
I was like, how do we make it sound like a choir, Julius? I give you all these challenging problems. I'm like, how do we make this ending sound big? Like there's like 14 people in the room. You're like, well,
and we should mention that you asked me that on the day of.
oh, that's right.
Like,
I forgot that part.
Yep. You're a day of type of person, and I know that now.
We are improvisers. We are improvisers.
I'm a week before type of guy, so just make a note of that.
We were working on this Zoom interview like a whole week. Remember before we wanted it? And
Yeah,
it wasn't perfect. See, so some things we had to do on the fly. You know?
Yeah, you were like, "Will you just show up on the Zoom?" And I was like, "No. If you give me a week to prep, then yes, I'll be there." I'm not a day of guy.
And we still have to do the video for next week with the 6 squares.
Oh yeah, more collaborations coming soon. Get ready, people.
Yep. So with that, I just want to thank you for being my guest on Hannah's Corner. And yeah, everybody look out for Julius's collaborations. Look out, go to Potential Zero, listen to his music straight from his soul. That's the real deal right there. That's his bread and butter. And he also produces and collaborates with so many people like Julius Tompkins, who I'm gonna share.
Shout out to Julius Tompkins.
Is his sister. She's amazing. He produced
artist name Jasmine Alina. That's her stage name.
He produced her entire album. And we're gonna close out with a little excerpt from her album, or one of the tracks, EWBA. So here we go. Let me share it with you.
Check the volume. Share the computer sound.
All you, Julius, all you, Jasmine. You guys rock. Woo!
Feels like your soul is dying. Can't stop yourself from crying. Knocked down and you feel like you cannot get out this time. Seems like nothing can heal the pain, and there's no shelter from heavy rain. You wonder if you'll ever see the sunshine on those days when hope seems so far away. Just hold on and keep on believing that one day, someday, everything will be alright. Everything will be alright. One more day and one more night. Everything will be alright. Life has a habit of bringing you down just when
beautiful.
Woo, one of my favorite bass lines I ever recorded. I was dancing when I was recording it. And if you like that, check out the reprise, people. It's insane.
I can't hear you.
Can or cannot? Can you hear me now?
That was beautiful.
Good.
So I think that was a very good note to end on. The lyrics, everything will be all right. One more day and one more night. I love it. I think it's very pertinent to kind of what we're going through right now. So, are you still with me, Julius?
I'm still with you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hear me now?
Okay.
Good.
Good. Hear me now? Good. Yeah, if you guys like that song, check out Jasmine Alina's album, and there's a reprise of that song, and it's fun. You'll dance.
Woohoo! Yes, you will. That's next. We gotta do some EDM dance music.
I'm down. I'm working on it already as we speak.
All right. Well, I think that's a wrap. 9 o'clock. Probably people want to go to bed. It's a Thursday night, but hey, this has been fun. This has been a lot of fun. And
Get ready for round 2, people. I'll be back, whether she likes it or not.
yeah, we're gonna be working together for years to come. You know, we're a killer team. You come from an amazing musical family. I'm just so, glad to be associated with and get to collaborate with. So here's to many more beautiful songs.
Here, here.
Hear,
There's
hear.
tea in this.
All right. Thanks so much for all you tuning in and those that check this video after. Again, I'm wishing everyone good spirits at this time and hope everyone's staying well and healthy. Thinking about everyone. Hope this video has brought a smile to your face, at least for this evening. So, good night.
Signing off.
Adios.